Hello and welcome to the Old Man Orange podcast, our 50th episode so far, out of about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
But still, so what?
I think we were good here.
If you're going to make a 50th episode, what do you make it out of?
Batman.
Batman, exactly.
Well, we started with Batman, so it makes sense that our special 50th is Batman, and it just happens, something Batman came out this month we could talk about.
There's always Batman.
Yeah.
This is going to sound weird, but this actually will lead into Batman, in a sense. Okay, I got the new Castlevania for 3DS, and so far...
It's totally related to Batman.
Well, technically it sort of is, because think about it. Dracula has fought Batman. At some point, Batman's like, okay, come on. Fucking Belmont's not... I had to fucking go in there and save the day once.
Batman and Trevor have something in common now.
I know. Actually, the game kind of blows your mind. These new Castlevanias is like the Lord of Shadows that came out for Xbox and PS3.
Yep.
This one's kind of like a semi-sequel, in a sense. Just, I don't know how it's going to lead into that second one that's supposed to come out some God knows time. But the character you play as is named Gabriel, and you actually don't fight Dracula in that Lord of Shadows, the original one. You know why? This is actually the biggest spoiler, though. Gabriel becomes Dracula at the end. But this fucking blew my mind. I know this is a reboot, so it's a different story, but...
it's a reboot?
Yeah, these ones are like that. But, and that the Lord of Shadows for Mirror of Fate for 3DS, they explain that Gabriel had a kid, and his kid was Trevor. And then Trevor had a kid, and his kid was Simon. So pretty much, in this universe, Dracula's just fighting all his children.
Huh.
Or his lineage.
Isn't that like if you dive deep into Van Helsing, like the original Van Helsing, isn't that what he was? He was the child of Dracula or something like that?
No, I don't
If you dive deep into it, I thought I heard something like that. Not going with the one from the director who did The Mummy. I thought I heard something like that.
I don't think so. He just has a feeling that he feels kind of like it. Well, in the Dracula stories, his son is Alucard.
Oh, okay.
There's a movie called Son of Dracula. I was gonna say Son of Alucard. Son of Dracula. It's on like if you get like the monster movie, they made those cool DVDs for like the Wolf Man and Creature from the Black Lagoon and Dracula. It's on that one, like the 4-disc set with all the special features.
Whenever I think Alucard, I just think from Helsing.
Do you? I don't think I always like, even though I've read Helsing and all that stuff, I don't think of that. I always think of like Castlevania, and then it's like, oh yeah, then there is Alucard from Helsing.
And there's actually like he's an actually original character from Bram Stoker books, right?
Alucard?
Yeah.
No, he's not in Bram. I don't think he's in Bram Stoker's. Does he have one more book other than Dracula that's like based on Dracula?
I have no idea. I never read any of his. He wrote like Mummy, like the original Mummy, and Dracula, didn't he?
I don't know if he wrote Mummy. I don't think so.
I want to say because I remember there was like a very bad like early '90s movie like Bram Stoker's Mummy. It's like, are you serious? I turned it on and I was like, oh, this is bad. I couldn't even finish it. But
I remember because then they made like Mary Shelley's like Frankenstein.
Oh, okay.
But like it was the time to like put the author's name in front of it.
So who knows? Maybe he did right there. It was like a modern day though. It was bad.
Oh, that's bad.
It wasn't even all that scary.
I really like the Mummy like the one with Brendan Fraser. Like people kind of forget this. Like that's really just a Mummy remake of Universal's.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like because
like
the Mummy's kind of like to me I always thought that was like the boringest one out of all the older like let's say the Universal monster movies.
Well, it was just kind of let's wait around for this thing because
it's slower than fuck.
Well, didn't it would just like slowly get up, it would just take its time, it would just kind of like want the girl, and the girl couldn't do anything, and just walk away with her. Isn't that all it was, really?
Yeah, it was just kind of boring, and I don't know, like I always think the best one was Creature from the Black Lagoon.
I have not seen that movie in so long. I got to check that out.
I haven't watched it since I was a kid, but that was always the one. Like when I was a kid, I thought it was fucking fantastic. Yeah. But yeah,
what else I liked as a kid though?
Batman.
And
who does Batman fight? Dracula.
Oh yeah, fuck.
They all tie together.
I never read that book, so I keep on forgetting about.
The whole
that
point though
one.
is that Castlevania 3DS game is kind of cool.
Okay.
It reminds me of like you've never played Lord of Shadows, but
I never played any Castlevania.
It mixes. Yeah, I know you haven't, but it mixes in like that 3D, like it's 3D graphics on a 2D plane. It just reminds me of like combining all these kind of game elements into one.
Okay.
Even though sometimes 3D sometimes 3D and 2D on a small screen sometimes hurt your eyes like slightly just because it's like. I don't know, just it's something about the depth of it and just on a tiny ass screen. But so far, it's pretty badass.
Well, it's just I want to ask this real quick before we jump on to Batman. As because Castlevania is your favorite series. That's your favorite
I have
franchise.
literally I've bought every single game like day one since Lament of Innocence, and even before that I bought them, but I didn't get them day one.
Same thing with any miscellaneous like puzzle like spin-offs or anything like that.
Yeah, like Castlevania it's like the only series that no matter what it is, I'll pre-order it and get it. I don't really care, even if the game turns to be like, even though like probably people kind of gave this game crap, but the Castlevania Judgment that was like a fighting game. To me, it wasn't.
That was for the Wii, right?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. The only thing I just didn't like is I didn't like how like the art style of it. They got like they took all the characters and made them pretty much not look like their original forms.
Are they like anime or something?
No, it's just like they got some creative Japanese guy who's, and the way he designed it, just almost like somebody who's like way too artsy.
Is it that
it's
kind of style?
Like, it's like why can't they just look like how they look in the games?
Well, is it like that style that the same guy? I don't know the guy's name, but you see a lot of his artwork in the earlier like illustrations, the Final Fantasy, that kind of really flowy, wavy, almost somewhat steampunkish kind of look.
No, I don't think it's the same guy, but it just once it just looks way too artsy. It doesn't look realistic like how like, you know what I mean? Like if they're gonna be wearing armor and stuff, like make them look like that. Don't give them these too creative outfits. And plus, like half the characters, like if you didn't have the name there, you'd have no idea who the fuck that was.
No, I get you. Yeah, is it play like real quick? One more question about that. Does it play like there's that Final Fantasy fighting game? Does it play like that, or is it more of like a traditional 2D fighter?
No, it's one of those ones where you run around like kind of like Power Stone. So
I like Power Stone. That's pretty awesome.
To me, it's like I like the game. I mean, yeah, the controls aren't like the most complicated. And but it is cool. The only thing bothering me is just I wish the characters just looked how like they really look.
Whenever they come out with like a Power Stone style fighting game, I'm always excited. But then it's just like they always kind of half-ass it. They don't really nail it like they did with Power Stone. And like for instance, they had like the Marvel Nemesis one, which I was like, oh, this is gonna be so awesome. But then it's like, oh well, you play these like the levels, the campaign mode. It's actually just so half-assed and. For some reason, you play as the Marvel heroes, and then eventually you have to play as a bad guy and kill off a Marvel hero, which is fucking stupid because you're fighting these aliens the whole time.
And it's like, when I always feel like that, whenever you see characters like that, like this character could have been somebody else.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It's like I thought that at first I thought they were like, some indie company. Like I thought it was like Marvel versus some indie like Dark Horse style company. It's like, okay. But then I realized, oh no, these are characters just made for this game. Fuck that. That's stupid, Like, if you play versus on that, just one-on-one with...
And you play with, like, the 10 characters they give you that are cool.
The 10 cool characters, yeah, it's a blast. But beyond that, though, it's just kind of like all these characters they just made up are really half... I'm not saying that, just... When you play a Marvel game, you want Marvel stuff. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't want to play a mission where some, like, brain-dead Hulk wannabe kills Wolverine.
Because
yeah.
Wolverine wouldn't die from some brain-dead Hulk wannabe.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck him. Anyway, though...
But pretty much what we did was we got Batman Night of the Owls. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah, well, we got excited because we both saw it at the same time. We're like, it's already out. We thought it was Volume 2 to Court of Owls, and we both just got like, oh my god! So we both just bought the fucking book, and then as we're reading, like, wait, there's something's missing here. This ain't. Then we actually stopped and researched it, and we're like, what this is they just...
It's the teaser, like, bridge comic between the two, really.
Because what happens at the end of Court of Owls is the Court of Owls sends the Talons, they're like owl-looking mercenary ninja guys, out into the night like, Gotham is yours! And now what happens is each chapter, most of the chapters, not all of them, most of the chapters are taking someone within the Batman family and then having them fight a Talon. It's usually one character per, one like issue per character. I mean, every once in a while you'll do two. You'll get two like Batmans from Scott Snyder's current run. You'll get two Nightwings, and then I think you get you get a Batman annual, and then some stories that were in the back of some books, like the Alfred's father story. I love that story.
Well, there's about 4 Scott Snyder stories in the entire book, I think. So that's kind of cool. But the only thing about that is like I'm just gonna cut right to the chase of what it kind of is. In a sense, though, most of the stories are like the same formula over again. You take one kind of Bat character, whether it be Robin, Batman, Nightwing, somebody. Yeah, Batwing. They have to go protect some like public figure, whether it be the Penguin, the mayor, somebody in Gotham, and then they have to fight a Talon.
Yeah.
It's really the same 3 things. Or the 3 things rotated between different characters. It almost reminds me like there was this 99 Stories book that Cord Rawlinson had. Did they remind you kind of like that? Where it's like, how many times can you tell the same story but just differently?
Yeah, it kind of did remind me of that. Some parts of it I was able to forgive it because I really liked the Damien story. It was just focused on him as Robin protecting some colonel, because that was really well written. I think it's one of those things. Some of them are more well written than others, but others just feel kind of like, what was the point of this? Like the whole Arkham Asylum one. I couldn't really get into that one, and not even
Was that the Batman Detective Comics one?
I think it was the Detective Comics one. He goes to Arkham Asylum. At some part, Black Mask tries to mind control him, which maybe I don't know my Batman as well as I thought I did, but I never knew Black Mask could do that.
I was kind of confused too. I was like, okay.
And then
The one part, just like there's a very drunk Batman part in there though. Like at the very end, like Dr. Arkham, like Batman just like punches him in the face and just like fucking nerd. And then after that, there's like 2 panels later, it's where he's like, and he had a little smirk. that part was my favorite part of that one. But other than that, though, that one was like, yeah. The other one I thought was actually like you think would be really cool, but I just thought was kind of lame. Was the very first one, the Jonah Hex one.
yeah, that one. Well, I think
And it wasn't Jonah Hex. It was the other characters in it. Like I don't know. I just like that. Like in the Old West, I don't picture a bunch of like martial arts, non-violent crime fighters.
because there was a lot of that. We won't kill, but Jonah Hex like, fuck it, I will. You know.
Well, it's like it's in the Western. No, it's in the Western. People kill. I don't give a. You know, it's fine that Batman doesn't kill, but if you're in the Old West, and don't give me that bullshit.
For a second, I was like,
Don't give me that bullshit. They're not using weapons either, and like they're fighting it. It's like no, that's fucking gay.
the New 52. I was like, this gives me a chance to maybe start Jonah Hex, start the All-Star American Western series. And I think it's All-Star American, maybe just American Westerns, but whatever. Anyway, now reading that chapter, though, if that's what it's like,
I don't want. It's like I care. That's those books. It look cool. I'm kind of glad I didn't buy it because of that.
I like Jonah Hex a lot. I really like that character. But if it's surrounded by all those other guys, I understand
Like
more
Cinnamon
over.
and whatever the fuck the other guy's name was.
Well, I understand like over the top.
Nighthawk.
I understand over the top characters, but it's more the fact that they were superheroes in the like 1800s. That's just one of
And
those things.
they just seem kind of like they seem like a very generic superhero. Like if you asked a kid in class to create a superhero, and just like they just didn't feel Western. It took me. I didn't feel like I was in a Western. That's the one
Yeah.
thing. It was just I don't know.
So when
I'm glad though. I guess that's kind of the upside of this book. This book kind of gives you like a little taste of a bunch of other series that you normally wouldn't check out.
one that the worst chapter I think of all of them was the Birds of Prey one.
The only reason I think that really sucked was there was that pinup girl. I don't know what her name was.
And she kept on.
She had the
making-
stupidest fucking phrases.
Yeah, she said like something like, "There's a part where she's about to run over a Talon, and she has a line like, I'm about to send you to your maker, which is most likely Tim Burton." It's just like, really?
It was like, it was like such horrible. Really, because like you took that one character out of it. I think that's actually kind of cool. Like it's like Batwoman, Poison Ivy, Black Canary.
Black Canary, yeah.
But it's just like that pinup girl. I don't know who the fuck that is.
That
Like,
character
take her
just
the
kinda
fuck
ruined-
out of there though.
That just kind of ruined it. Yeah.
It really did. And she had a bunch of other stupid lines too. Like oh, she says she's like, I'm gonna mask you. I hope you look like Johnny Depp or something like that.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
What the fuck is
I
that?
forgot about that. Yeah.
It was just, she was literally like, plug in like pop culture reference here character.
Yeah, that's what she kind of was.
Oh, so but you know, really, like, I thought the concept of that story was cool, just disincluding that character.
I guess that character bothered me so much. I was just like, what the fuck is this character doing here?
I just think it's fun.
Because I like Black Canary.
Why is it cool that you have like all these kind of like girl characters? I mean, like it's different. You know, I think that book was written by a guy, if I remember correctly.
Oh boy.
I think it's like
Get a woman on that book.
It just seems really weird. I don't know what it is, but like when you like, I almost feel like if you're gonna write a girl superhero one, whether it be like Batgirl, Catwoman, or that Birds of Prey, I think a girl should be writing it. I do not think a guy should be writing about a bunch of chicks.
I think Judd Winnick did a good job writing Catwoman.
Yeah, actually, that was actually one of the cooler ones.
Judd Winnick's one of my favorite comic book writers, and when I heard he did Catwoman, I'm like, I don't know, I might get around to that. But that story, even though, because like we said, this is kind of the same. I mean, some of the stories come back around, they're interesting and add to the Batman mythos. Others are very much, watch this guy, fight this guy. And the one that I really liked, though, was I really liked the whole Nightwing. There's 2 Nightwing stories.
Well, the Nightwing book is really good.
And that really makes me want to read Nightwing, but now it's just, I have so much fucking DC. It's the thing about comics is it's in a very expensive hobby. You got to pick your series and stick with them. But I'm just kind of reading this like, fuck, why'd I start reading Dark Justice League? I want to read Nightwing now, you know?
Yeah, it's alright. Well, to me, it's like, and even in this book too, it's like there's some characters like there's like the Batwing character.
Uh-huh.
Now maybe if I would have read more of it, but it's like I don't really care about these like in a sense off-brand Batman characters. If it's not Batman, it's not Dick Grayson, it's not Jason Todd, and it's not Barbara Gordon. You know, like I kind of don't give a fuck.
I'm surprised they focused on all these different characters, but Red Robin.
Yeah, Red Robin just kind of. Sometimes Red Robin has some really gay looking costumes, and like, why does he have that little like? He
has
like
wings
a
now.
faux hawk and that wings. It's just like God, sometimes it's like, dude, what the fuck? Like who? I don't know, like why somebody had to draw him kind of like. They make him look really gay.
I guess they wanted to make him... I like the way he looked before the New 52.
Well, yeah, well, he looks badass, but like when he's fucking Robin.
Yeah. Well, I understand like now Damien's the new Robin, not anymore because he just got killed apparently. But Red Robin, just his outfit as Red Robin before the New 52 happened, where it was just kind of like a black cowl they extended out to being the cape, and just kind of like a red kind of like Hawkman like belt going across his chest.
Yeah, like that's
that
not
looked
too bad.
Cool, but it was just.
But like, yeah, see, some of those costumes, I'm like, God, that just looks so gay.
Yeah.
Looks so dumb.
And then we get to like
it makes Damien look really cool when he's dressed like that.
I think Damien, from what I've read, Damien gets better as he goes on.
Yeah, I do think he does get better. I'm still not the biggest fan of him, but I understand him a little bit more now. That like, at first you're just like, God, this character just fucking dies.
Grant Morrison was the one to do it, but the thing is, nothing's sacred in comics. It wouldn't surprise me if they brought him back a year from now.
Yeah.
Or have him be, or like maybe they could do like the Jason Todd thing, where 20 years later they bring him back.
Yeah, well, the
Under
Red Hood and the Outlaws one was pretty cool.
I'm actually currently reading Volume 1 of Red Hood and the Outlaws, and it's good. There's some feminist groups that are kind of against it, and I kind of understand why in some aspects, but overall, strictly in the sense of the story, the artwork, and the action, it's really good.
Was Jason Todd just like...
Well, they just kind of make... Well, first off, it's kind of what it is it's Jason Todd, Arsenal, and Starfire. And Starfire is very much just kind of like I kind of maybe understand what they're trying to see. What they're trying to do. They're trying to make her like she's an independent woman, but she kind of fucks whoever she wants. And there's like first thing when they introduce her, like Jason Todd's on a submarine. He just got killed. He just got done killing a bunch of bad guys. And then he wakes up on an island, and like there's Starfire wearing nothing but a bikini that nursed him back to health, and
yeah,
they just kind of they fuck around for a few days, and then after that, they meet up. They say, well, let's go save Roy Harper, the Arsenal, who's like somewhere in somewhere in the Middle East, and they do that, and then they say, well, let's form a team, and then out of that,
let's have a three-way.
They don't have a three-way, but at some point, like she just blatantly says to Roy, she's like, "Hey, you want to fuck or whatever?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "How do I make love to a alien girl?" It's just love has nothing to do with it, So, and that line pissed off a lot of people. So
it's kind of like that Savages movie where she just kind of fucks both of them.
Kinda. Well,
and they're totally fine with it.
Well, Savages, it was just kind of like they were both madly in love with her. This one is just kind of like, yeah, it's what we do. Yeah, they're kind of like this. They're not bad guys, but they're kind of very much more the anti-heroes, kind of.
They kind of might be like, it's supposed to be kind of like almost like Punisher of Batman.
It kind of is, and it's actually, strictly in the sense of the action and the pace, and the artwork, it's really good. I can understand why the way they wrote Starfire can piss some people off.
because like sometimes like I don't know.
It's sometimes
they make like some of those women characters overly sexual. I'm like, I don't think she would have got this far in life if she was this overly sexual.
And at the same time, it almost seems like someone's trying to write their sexual fantasy out in like this book. But overall, though, the book is pretty entertaining. What?
It just seems like my sexual fantasy. I picture two dudes fucking the same chick.
Fucking an orange chick. Who can melt their fucking dicks off with their fucking eye vision or whatever.
Well, even like in just like that, like the Night of Owls one, they kind of make her out to be like the fucking retard of the group too. Like, dude, fucking Starfire, you're gonna kill her. Oh, we don't need a kill. We just gotta, like, stop Mr. Freeze.
Well, they kind of make her out to be more of like like Jason Todd's pretty cool. I like him. I never thought I'd say that, but Jason Todd as Red Hood is pretty cool. And the whole thing with her and the one I'm reading, they get across that their brains, she's an alien, so their brains work differently, and they don't really get attacked. The complete opposite of what we made it in Drunk Batman.
Yeah.
In Drunk Batman, we were trying to make it more like she was more than anything like Teen Titans Starfire, because that Starfire would have took some shit. This Starfire would not take any of the shit that was happening
by some mere mortal fucking like sidekick.
Exactly. So, but But this right here, she's much more of like angry at the same time. She has a very loving nature, but at the same time, she's also kind of like, she has a loving nature, but at the same time, not in a romantic way. To her, that's kind of the best way I can explain it from reading this book.
Yeah, so she doesn't have like those exact human emotions.
She worries about her comrades, and she doesn't want to kill anybody that doesn't need to die. But at the same time, she doesn't get really emotionally like connected to them in a romantic way per se, like as I said earlier. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, they also have they say something like they forget things, like they acknowledge that she was fucking Nightwing earlier on, because the Teen Titans never happened in the New 52. They acknowledge,
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they all like hung out and worked together at some point, and so they acknowledge that she and Nightwing were fucking for a while.
So she's just gonna.
She's all like,
one day she's just gonna have like it's just be like the most creepiest like 4-way between Dick, Damien, Jason, and Tim.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be the next. That's gonna be the next thing for the whenever the next reboot's gonna happen.
It's gonna be DVDA.
Yeah.
While Batman sits up there and watches
from a distance, like Superman's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" "I'm observing. I need to know my enemy. She's an alien."
Superman just paused for a second. Mind if I hang out too?
I don't need the binoculars. I'm good. It's actually kind of harder if I just close my eyes and use my super hearing. No, but anyway.
You just have a fucking tagline of book. Starfire fucks 4 Robins.
Guarantee there's probably already, like, if there isn't one already, somebody that hears this, they're gonna fucking make that. That's gotta exist by now, alright? Given all that weird-ass shit on the internet, that has to exist by this point. But no, they acknowledge that she kind of, like, forgets things. Like, she couldn't remember Nightwing's name. Like, he was important to me, but I don't remember his name. But I remember what we did.
I remember his dick, but I don't remember his name.
Audience laugh track right there. I remember his dick, but not his name.
Okay, what did you think about that Mr. Freeze origin
story?
All right,
yeah, Mr. Freeze origin story.
I had very mixed feelings about that.
Here's the thing. It's the New 52, and I'll be honest, I didn't see that coming. What ends up happening in this is they acknowledge, well, first off, Mr. Freeze apparently killed his mother at a young age. Because the mother, like...
But it wasn't like, his mother was like, she fell in the ice once, went retarded, then he decided, well,
she went a little crazy, yeah.
But the one thing this is what I really didn't like about it, is I don't picture Mr. Freeze is starting out like evil his entire life. And they made out like, he was always evil. Evil, evil, evil. Mm-hmm. Evil! And it's like, I always picture Mr. Freeze as one of those guys who was a totally, like, normal guy who just wanted to do the right fucking thing. And then the second they just took away the only thing he ever loved, that's when he just went like, you know what, fuck it. You know what, you took away the only thing I fucking really like. I'm working my fucking ass off for this shit. So you know what, now I have no emotions. I'm fucking frozen. And I'm pissed. But I have no emotion. And this one's just kind of like, it's like, I don't know, just like, this sounds like he's like, yes, he tortured animals with freezing when he was younger. He wanted to build a snowman with fucking an apple. He pushed his retarded mother into the ice. It's like, and Nora, it was some other chick he was in love with, but he never knew her because she was from 1942. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just one of those ones like, just remember like, he's so evil and out there. It just came across like straight up. I think that was the story was written by Scott Snyder, wasn't it?
It was a joint operation between Scott Snyder and someone else.
Yeah, it was just one of those ones like I don't know, because that's one thing is that's a character that I don't consider like constantly evil. I just feel like there was like in a sense, Mr. Freeze he's borderline. He could go back like really like he's one of those kind of characters like I don't know how many stories you can also make out of Mr. Freeze too. Because the second that I feel like he thought out Nora, that'd be like okay, I'm out of here. We're gonna go retire to the Antarctic.
That happened one time in the because I bought one volume of Batgirl. And this isn't Barbara Gordon Batgirl. This is Cassandra Cain Batgirl.
Uh-huh.
And what ended up happening at some point is Mr. Freeze joined with the Legion of Shadows, and they tossed like Nora into the Lazarus pit, and it was just very cheesy. And she pops up, and she's all angry and furious, and Mr. Freeze like Nora, you're back, and she's like, I am Lazarus. She became like a supervillain.
That's fucking.
I was like, her name was Lazarus. And I was like, that is fucking stupid. I'm sorry. That's just so. Maybe it's kind of a good thing that he never at one point in time, because they go back and rewrite things. At one point in time, she shattered. She fell down and she shattered. And then another time later, maybe they got some super glue or some shit. I don't know. She's back together and they drop her in the Lazarus pit and she becomes Lazarus. So I have no idea what the fuck they're doing. And
I just thought that this I don't know, just like that's what one's like. I'm sorry, but I feel like Scott Snyder like either he's getting to that point where she was trying to be too radical, or I just feel like he didn't understand Mr. Freeze enough. Because I don't know, I just feel like Mr. Freeze is not supposed to be a character that's pure evil.
Reading interviews with him and listening to him on Fat Man on Batman, I think he understands Batman.
No, I think
maybe
he
he was trying to be
Batman
too
quite a bit.
radical.
I just think he's just trying. I don't know, because sometimes I think that's how a lot of writers get. Once like they get that point where like, I don't know.
Everybody loves me.
Yeah, like a Frank Miller-esque part. Like I feel like they go, everybody loves me. I can write anything. I could write Batman sucking his own dick and they'll still buy it.
I can write Starfire fucks 4 Robins.
And I don't know, it's just that Mr. Freeze one is just kind of like, to me, it's like, oh, I don't know, it's just like, I don't know, that's not how I think of Mr. Freeze.
It was kind of one of those things to me, strictly in the sense of a story. I enjoyed it, but the aspect of it being Mr. Freeze, though, because the artwork was awesome.
Well, yeah, the artwork, but it's never gonna say.
I know, but I guess it was
Pretty
cool
pictures aren't gonna save.
It was pretty cool seeing New 52 Mr. Freeze. I like the way that he looked in this.
Well, I like the way he looks,
and I liked how he breaks out, because it was just up until the end until I really had problems with it.
Well, yeah, that's
time,
why I said I liked a lot of stuff of it. It's just sort of like I don't like how they make him out that he was always evil since a kid. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't like how they said, like, oh, you actually didn't, Nora actually isn't really your wife. It's like, that's fucking gay.
And
that is fucking retarded. That's all I have to say. When I saw that.
So you don't have mixed feelings. You're actually pretty set on it then.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, that's what I mean. Like, I like the, like, okay, Freeze in present day, I think I'm fine with that. But once you kind of hear the backstory, that's what I didn't like.
Well,
because it makes Bruce Wayne kind of seem like a dick, too. It's
well, I
just
think
like,
what happened, yeah, but...
Oh, you want to save your wife? No, work on something real important.
Fucking nerd.
Yeah, fuck your wife.
Well, that was the thing. I guess because for me, that was almost kind of a relief. Because when I was reading that, I'm like, why'd they write Bruce Wayne out to be such a dick? And then you're reading it, and then you're like, oh, well, I don't want Mr. Freeze be a dick, but I guess I'd rather have him be a dick than Batman be like, here's an opportunity for me to save my wife. Yeah, fuck you and your fucking popsicle bitch. So I guess I take that evil. I mean,
work on that snow cone maker.
God damn it.
The office needs a snow cone maker.
God, what the fuck were you doing?
I don't care how much time you put in this project. Give me those papers. I'm just going to throw them in the incinerator.
Snow cone maker in every room of Wayne Industries. That's what this company fucking needs, man.
I want you to invent the slush puppy, too.
Slush puppy? What are the slush puppies? I forgot.
Those things that, like, they were at that gas station in Oakdale. They're kind of like a Slurpee.
The off-brand Slurpee?
No, they're not really off-brand Slurpees, because they're completely different, in a sense. They're completely different if you know your icy drinks. But, they're almost like tiny, like, ice cubes that are flavored, like, as cherry or some other, like, syrupy thing.
Oh, so it's
But it kind of has, like, instead of being kind of like a Slurpee, this kind of feels like you're drinking snow.
Oh.
These ones kind of feel like you're drinking, like, little ice cubes.
You're drinking little ice cubes?
I don't know how else to describe it. You've never had a slush puppy?
Do you just drop these ice cubes into water and go, or is
No,
it...
just the way, like, you pour it out of the machine at, like, the gas station or wherever they have it.
Huh. Okay.
You gotta fucking have one someday, dude. You're missing out.
You're telling me I got... Okay. I'm surprised you're saying that, because you're, like, one of the most, like, you know, like, fitness freaks I know. So the fact that you're saying, you gotta have one of this... You gotta have some of this high fructose corn syrup.
There's some of these things that it's just, like, you gotta have. Like, I don't know. It's part of childhood. Because you got
I remember
the Slurpee,
there's the icy.
You got the icy with the bear on it, and then you got the slush puppy.
Is the icy still around? The icy die.
Now, do they still sell it at the movie theater?
I don't see it at the movie theater, no.
Oh, they changed companies then? Because that's where you used to see it at.
I see the bear, and then I remember, like, I haven't seen the bear in a while. We watched Encino Man, of all things, one day. I was like, holy shit, the icy, because it had the bear on it.
Using the juice!
Yeah. Like Pauly Shore's like, your basic fruit groups, bro. You got your icy, and you got your what the fuck? What else was it?
Like the sweet tarts,
sweet tarts,
and the
then
burrito,
like, beef jerky. He says,
no, the burrito was the meat group. I think
meat group, yeah.
The sweet tarts were the. Oh, you're just destroying everything.
Oh shit, phone.
No.
I'm plugging this shit over here.
Yeah, unplug that shit. Fucking phone. Think it's better than you?
It is fucking unplugged, and it's still ringing.
Maybe it's a Talon calling. There's a lot of phone calls in that book of Talons calling. Oh, they do. Okay, I will say this: after reading about 14 issues of like the Talons, I'm kind of sick of the Court of Owls.
I think it's only because
once, like, I'll be fine with it once I just read the next like Batman. But just like I don't know, it was almost like Court of Owls overload.
I think it's just because it was like one of those things. They send all these owls out. I just want to say this is how badass Batman is. They send out one owl and one person out of the Batman family, or three, I guess, in the 3 or 4 in the case of Birds of Prey and Red Hood and the Outlaws. You have to go after one of these owls. But generally, though, they have to send how many owls just after Batman alone?
He's not even. He's like fucking just fighting him as Bruce Wayne pretty much mostly. And
Yeah.
that is cool when he puts on like the kind of like the Dark Knight Returns like armored suit.
Yeah. And
That was
starts kicking it.
badass.
I loved that. Yeah, I like
Those
all
those ones like okay when you get the Scott Snyder full on Batman, that stuff's awesome. Mm-hmm. And then I also think the Kyle Higgins like Nightwing. I think those are the 2 best stories in there.
Yeah, and then like a while I was thinking, you know what, I gotta go read all the Batman series that are out right now, but I really think I'm just gonna stick to just normal Batman and not detective like comics, because that almost, even not saying those stories are gonna suck, but it's just kind of like overload, really.
Well, it's just, I don't know. It's like because I thought the whole point of the New 52 was like to kind of simplify the series, and I feel like it's just as complicated as ever. It's just every once in a while they get to, like DC's done that a couple times where they just reboot themselves, and it just feels like that's kind of what they did, but they didn't really simplify it. They just made it still just as complicated as ever.
Yeah,
Because I thought the whole point of New 52 at first was supposed to be like, okay, we're going to...
It's a fresh start.
Here's one Superman. Here's one Batman. You know what I mean? Here's one Flash. And it's like, no, here's 10 fucking Batman stories.
what they got now though, it's
Because there's Batman,
Batman
there's
and Robin.
Nightwing, there's... I'm kind of like all like the miscellaneous characters. Catwoman, Batgirl...
well, that's fine because those are franchises and characters people like. For me, it's
That's fine, but it's just one of the ones like... I mean, like, I just feel like you gotta be so rich if you want to really keep up on all this Batman stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, to me, it's like you really pick one. In comic books, you almost pick 2 main stories, and those are the ones you can kind of keep up with. And then every once in a while, you can buy kind of like more like the books that are kind of like single stories, like just like straight up, it's one graphic novel and that's it, kind of like a Watchmen style, or so where it's just one story, that's it. You know what I mean? It's not really like a continual thing.
Yeah,
That's why like Marvel's one of those ones too. It's like because Marvel's like is the most continual stories ever. It's like
remember that shit that happened in like X-Men back in 1962?
yeah, it's just like before X-Men even started, it didn't even come out in 1962, but we have shit on it. It just,
When did it start? In 65?
I think it was like 64 or 60.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, like Marvel's was one like 'cause that's one thing I like. The one thing I always did like about DC, I kind of like even if you have like 800 issues of Batman, like each kind of set of stories is kind of like it's like a beginning, 7 issues or so, give or take. And that's just one story, and then it kind of ends. And it all fits chronologically, but it's not just like, next time on Batman, next time on Batman.
Yeah.
Where you really feel like you have to keep up. Like, you can kind of pick any Batman story up and generally be able to jump into it.
Yeah,
Where
that's
you
what I
can't
always
just pick
liked.
up any fucking issue of X-Men and be able to jump into it. Mm-hmm. You'd be confused as fuck.
Well, it's kind of, I don't really like it when they do it so much when they have, like, I mean, this is kind of a smaller, toned-down version, but it's like whenever they would have, like, some, like, massive event happening, like in Marvel's Civil War, how it's like, all right, to find out what happens, go read Iron Man. These 2 issues of Iron Man. All right, now go read these couple issues of Captain America. Now go read these couple issues of Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, I don't like it when they do that so much. They have these massive events. Just have like one simple story. Just have it be this one simple story. Don't have it cross into all these different comics. And they did this for a little bit of I mean, this isn't really so important. I mean, when you and me both saw this book, like, holy shit, because I had no idea the book was coming out. But then the one we were actually looking forward to
Comes out at the end of the month.
is it Court of Owls Part 2? Or
I guess it's called Court of Owls Volume 2.
and that comes out, yeah.
The only sad thing, though, it's like those ones, like, this one kind of gives you some of those issues in it. So when you buy that Volume 2, it's like, well, I'm buying it for 3 new issues.
Yeah. Well, you could always maybe buy the single issues or something like that.
I thought about that, but when I was looking on Amazon, I'm like, it's technically going to cost about the same price because the single issue is like $3, give or take. The book on Amazon's like $12.
Well, we've been kind of like kicking this book in the dick. I want to talk about something I really like about it. I absolutely love the Alfred's father story.
That one is really well, I think all the stories when they go kind of like back to like the 1900s turn of the century, give or take somewhere in there. I think all those that's like the best part of the book. That's almost why you buy the book is just to get the fucking history more of like.
I loved I love Dick Grayson's grandfather's story. Mm-hmm. That was great. All the Nightwing stuff is great. All the Scott Snyder Batman stuff is great. The Damian story's pretty good.
That one's cool.
The Catwoman story, that
was actually pretty cool too.
The Catwoman story is pretty entertaining. It's one of those books. It is actually better than we're letting it on. It is a decent book.
Well, yeah, because I mean, like, you get 14 issues And really, there's only about like
4 stories that are
4 stories. There's like 2 that are just like and then there's about 2 other ones that are like they're not bad, but they're not amazing. Like, cause one I didn't think like the Batgirl one. It's that one just kind of felt like
Well, I'm kind of curious because like they never really explained where did it just take that long for like because there's at the very beginning they open up in like Japan, I think 1941, 1942.
It's 44.
44. Okay. They have the
Like, oh, we're making little paper balloon bombs.
Yeah, to go drop in America, and I'm assuming. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if this shit was actually true, because I never really looked into it. But it wouldn't surprise me if it was true.
No, they have those type of things.
Yeah, and it took like they have this at the very beginning of the story, and then it didn't say, oh yeah, there's one that hit a miscellaneous family in Colorado. There's one that hit a family in Utah and Washington. Yeah, and then they come around and they all start dropping in Gotham, and they don't never really come back to. You may have to read Batgirl to find that out, but they never come back to that.
That's the one thing that was. I do feel like this book was sold upon like, hey, you like the Scott Snyder Batman? Pick this up because his name's the only one on the cover. And then I think it's a way to try to sell all the other Batman stories. In a sense,
it's kind of like War Games because War Games, it was a big Batman epic. It was 3 volumes, and what it was is it was very much kind of like this. There, huge like crime war between all the crime lords in Gotham broke out. It's anarchy, it's chaos, and it jumps from all the different Batman stories. So you have Batman, Batman Detective Comics, Batman Gotham Knight, Robin, Nightwing, Catwoman. And maybe there's another one I'm in there forgetting. Batgirl.
But that's kind of what this was. Yeah.
And there was 3 volumes of that, and it was about how Black Mass manages to take control of Gotham. And parts of that story are very interesting, but other parts, that was kind of like something like they were using like, okay, here's this chick named Onyx. She's bald and she's like a ninja. Here's this guy named Orpheus. Not Morpheus, Orpheus. He's kind of lame. And then here's
that was the thing about the story. I remember just picking that up, and I was like, who the fuck is these fucking Christ? How many? I'm like, I just felt like an old man. Like, what is all this new stuff in here?
Like how there's some older people that are like, this is not the America I know. Like, this is not the Batman I know.
I remember that War Games was one's like, it was just kind of like, I think because that was one of the, like, it was strange enough one of the first like probably top 10 graphic novels of Batman I read, with my only knowledge prior to this being like the animated series, movies, and so on, and then just, a handful of stuff. So it was just like, it was like almost like instantly being thrown into this like extremely like, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of shit I don't know.
And they had like, I haven't seen any of these characters.
Because like a lot of those characters in there, it's like, if you get like one's like,
who gives a shit about Onyx?
Yeah, it's like all these characters like.
There's another character like Tarantula. She was like dressed like a slutty Spider Woman, and that's all. That's what she was. It was just like. Some of these characters, what's the fucking point of these guys? And I think they were really trying. I think somebody had an idea for some characters, and they said, "Well, we could use this book to maybe sell it. Just drop them in Gotham City. People will give a shit." And no one really did.
Well, that's what I think. Like the Night of Owls is. I think it's trying to say like, it's like maybe they'll get interested in these other stories. Like,
but the stories.
Maybe somebody will go out and buy a Catwoman book next, or maybe they'll go out and buy
You almost said Blunt Man and Chronic.
No, I almost said
Batwing?
Yeah, I almost said, like, Blackwing.
Blackwing!
That's, like, kind of how it comes across. I don't know, that story, I don't even... If that is written by a black guy, then maybe, but it comes across to me more like a white guy writing a black guy story.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, that feels like too, like, shoehorned in, like, let's put a black character in there. And then
they have him fighting in Africa.
Like those Batman Incorporated, like, Batman... I don't know, it's like... All these, like, kind of, like, spin-off of, like, not real Batman characters, I don't know. I just don't really care. I just don't give a flying fuck about
My thing is, it's not... I mean, I understand people want to add to it. I think one of the things is they try to add too much at one time, and I think you got to inch in little by little. And I understand trying to make it more diverse and all that, because I think Batwing, that takes place like in South Africa or something.
Yeah, I know it's different.
And maybe in a different setting, that's pretty cool. But just in Gotham City, because where he was at the time, it was just kind of like, whatever. What's Batman doing? So
by the point that we have 6 fucking Robins out there in the world, I think it's like I don't really need more fucking.
Yeah.
These other characters. It's like, in a sense, I'm surprised that Batman. That somebody's created 6 different Robins.
6 different Robins. What is there 6?
Well, I'm just saying that not like okay in a sense.
Carrie
Kelly won't be in there, but I'm considering in this list. And then there's what was that chick that was Robin for like a second, then she died. Spoiler.
Yeah.
Like
so I think like Stephanie Brown. I think she died in War Games, and she was like Robin for a little while before War Games happened.
Yeah. So it's like there's 6 different Robins. You try to explain that to some regular person. That would just be where they stop watching Batman.
When I talk to people who don't read the Batman comics, their minds fucking explode when I say there's more than one Robin and one of them died. What? How'd he die? Like, got beaten to death with a crowbar by the Joker. They have that shit in comics? Yeah, they have it in comics.
They've had it for a long time.
Yeah. But anyway, we should probably... But
we probably should move into part 2 of this Batman podcast.
So, this is going to seem somewhat self-serving, but something we do aside from podcasting is we make comics, we make cartoons, and at one point in time, we did live-action movies.
We made a lot of Well, that's how we started out, really, was live-action movies.
It just turns out that, really, animation's a little bit more reliable. Not easier, but reliable than filming live-action.
But the problem I always saw with live-action is, it's not the making the live-action... It's the fact that nobody wants to fucking help you out.
That is the situation right there. And so pretty much back in 2008, before Drunk Batman, but before like right before Dark Knight came out, we made this movie called The Drunk Knight Returns.
Yeah, it's called Batman and Robin: The Drunk Knight Returns.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. And what ended up happening was, back in high school, we said, look, we should do like a Robot Chicken style Batman and Robin thing. And Patton Oswalt, my favorite stand-up comedian, had a joke saying, Nicolas Cage should be the next Superman. That's the case. Nick Nolte should be the next Batman. And that was just kind of the starting point for Drunk Batman. And at that point, we were just like, well, we were just playing around with the idea. We were trying to do like a Robot Chicken style thing with action figures. They said, stop motion takes way too much fucking time. Let's just have our hands out of frame. It just
move around. This is where our really lazy animation kind of came in.
Yeah, we would just kind of like have our frame. Sometimes you can actually see our hands in frame. It's like, God damn it, Batman! God damn it, Robin! And like it was, and we didn't have a Bat cave, but you had like you were going through your old toys in the attic, and you had like the danger room from X-Men. So we like just had like Professor X was in a cage, and like Cyclops was a dumbass, and they just invaded the danger room and all that. And there was a few funny lines, but it really wasn't that great.
But it was the origin of Drunk Batman.
Which we kind of, I guess we knew 52'd that shit.
Yeah, we kind of knew 52'd it with even like the animation, sort of.
Well, we kind of actually, because in the live action Drunk Batman, which is a 30-minute movie chopped up into 6 parts, that's, we acknowledge some of that stuff, we hint at it, but we never really come back around to it, and now so I guess in a sense, for those who actually give a shit, this Drunk Batman, the live-action Drunk Batman, is still part of continuity, and then we move onward to the animated stuff, and that's where we're at right now. And yeah, if you look long enough, you could probably see some inaccuracies or whatever, but fuck it, it's Drunk Batman,
Yeah, so, I don't think we really noticed those inaccuracies too.
No, somebody I showed some of the movies to were like, wait, Robin was nice at the beginning. Now he's kind of a dick. Well, how'd this happen? How is he a dick in the flashback? Well, just don't worry about it, Just go with it.
Well, if you watch even in like the live action one, as time goes on, Robin starts to get a little bit more pissed off. He starts out so happy and carefree, and as time goes on, he starts to get more and more pissed.
We'll come out with another one that maybe explains in the live action shit. But
and then there's also I think the family values is kind of like the center ground of where Batman comes back to drinking.
Yeah.
And 2, once Robin gets bat slapped, that's where he just kind of gets more pissed.
Pretty much.
That's like the bridging ground. Really, family values is what bridges like the live action Drunk Knight Returns to like the animated versions. I feel
that's a pretty good point. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually do kind of an audio. If you give a shit, we're gonna do an audio commentary for Drunk Knight Returns. It's on our YouTube page, Old Man Orange on YouTube, and there should be a playlist. If not, there's 1 through 6. Just line them up, and we're gonna start doing an audio commentary for it very soon.
Well, there's a Batman it has the animated stuff I'll put into it, but it's all Drunk Knight.
It's all Drunk Knight. Is it all in order or?
Well, it should be in pretty good order. I don't know how. I've never sat down and just like played the playlist. I made the playlist. That means I sat down and actually played through it though.
Well, if not, just go on the YouTube page, type in Drunk Knight Returns.
And you can just do the thing where we'll start it, and then you could just pause it every single time it ends, start the other one. It's not that difficult. We have technology nowadays.
Yeah, we do.
Just pause and play.
Yeah.
But we're gonna start it up and we're gonna talk over it, and we're pretty much just give our filmmaking tips throughout it.
Yeah. My mistake, not a 30-minute movie, 33-minute movie in 40 seconds.
That's true.
All right, so we're going to start it on 3. 1, 2, 3, we're off.
Awesome.
Okay, so this beginning, right here. We're trying to kind of go with like like Batman Beyond, because that's actually you're actually in here 3 times.
I know. Well, we were supposed to get other. Once again, this comes down to all
That's
like
you right
action
there.
filmmaking. We're supposed to come in.
That's
here.
you again.
There's supposed to be 3 different people, but then nobody showed up, so I ended up having to play all these parts.
And this right here is a kind of a salute to Batman Beyond, because the way how the people, even though you look very 70s in that outfit right there, yeah, it looks kind of like how they never really had any inflection or tone.
Yeah, they have that kind of Batman Beyond thing.
Yeah.
This part, I always felt this part was a little long, and I always kind of, I mean, I know we had to get the story across, but I think in my mind I had some cooler stuff that I wanted to put into it, but,
Well, we're going to have images, because right here we're talking about, this kind of explains why Batman hates Aquaman so much in the animated stuff.
yeah, we were supposed to have more crap, and at some point we're going to make the Drunk Batman animated origin story.
Which we really want to do. Right here, and here, there's me. Okay, so moving on. And I thought right here, like, this whole part, didn't you use, like, Resident Evil music for this part?
Yeah, I had the fucking Biohazard soundtrack from the very first game.
The weird thing about that, and here's, like, our Sergio Leone, like, opening right
I
here.
love that opening right there,
Yeah.
actually.
And here's me. Now, when we were filming
I
this...
almost felt like at some point I was going to, like, re-edit this movie, and I was just going to cut straight to this. Just skip the beginning and just go straight into it.
I don't think the beginning's all that bad.
I don't think it's that bad. I just think it's a little long. I don't know. It's not, I mean, like, if you could just put up through that. And
Here's me. Well, we're trying to make an epic right here. And here's me, and I'm just kind of like, oh, fuck. The hair. This is probably the most I've ever dived into any character, I think. I mean, I don't consider myself an actor by any means, but this right here is just... Yeah. This is the first time I grew my hair out that long and had a beard going for a little while. And then we got, like...
and always when we, you know... Well, at first, the reason
There's always so many comments on the Sailor Moon thing, right?
well, we put all this... I'll talk about the music in a second, but... whenever we shot in this motorhome, we always did it in summertime when it was about 100 fucking degrees out. And a motorhome is so fucking hot.
We never did it during Christmas time. Right? They always had to be summer. And I remember because like we would be this is all just you and me right here. Because if you're not on camera, then if you're on camera, I'm holding the camera. Vice versa with you.
Yeah. So it's like so I'm holding the camera here.
Yeah.
And then
that's anybody.
Yeah.
That's me holding the camera right there.
Hold the camera. So it's really just us making the entire thing. We act. And like we're shooting all at the same time. We don't got any fucking crew but ourselves.
There's only 3 shots where we're both on camera at the exact same time.
And that's when the tripod's holding the camera.
That's in the tripod, and Joe was holding the camera one time. I think Cisco held it one time.
Yeah,
he held it
when we were in the car once.
Yeah, but people I think
love that line.
Goes back Coke. That line right there, I think it's one of those things.
A
lot of people don't
Clerks
get
one.
it. Yeah, a lot of people don't get that, but still, at the same time.
Like no phone.
And this whole thing, he's afraid Robin's gonna be gay or something.
Yeah. Even though, I like how Robin is nowadays. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, this is kind of the start of Robin. He's supposed to just be kind of... I think now he's so much more funnier that he's kind of a little bit pissed. And it's like...
I can't believe I had my hair that fucking long. Jesus Christ. I mean, I guess it matches the Led Zeppelin shirt, you know, but...
No.
Some people were saying, you should throw a Lynyrd Skynyrd shirt. It's like, no, that's too expected. Led Zeppelin, no one's really expecting Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, we sort of have it, the Batman, like, the whole point is, like, since he's drinking, it's like... Now he's just kind of listening to, like,
I miss the
70s hard rock.
The MJ Cup. I went with James Gang right here, because I just want to get it, like a montage with James Gang.
Well, we first when we did this too, we're like, we're making a Batman video, so we can't fucking sell it, so let's put all this, like, we'll just put music in and we'll just do whatever the fuck we want.
That tastes so nasty. It's supposed to be like he's mixing coffee and beer, which makes no logical fucking sense, but works for the character. And God, that's frightening right there. And but it was like tea and Coca-Cola. It just tasted so fucking nasty. And I missed that MJ cup. I don't know what the fuck happened to it.
That cup was badass.
Michael Jordan. I don't really care about Michael Jordan, but the fact I have Michael Jordan's head.
Space Jam cup.
Yeah. There's me spraying my nuts with fucking like vanilla flowers or whatever. That's a fuck up. People would say, "Oh, you're in that drunk Batman movie. Like, you heard you're making that. Like, what's it on YouTube?" I tell them, and then this is like, I don't tell them. You see my fucking my ass and fucking crotch in the first like 3 minutes of it.
We gotta have like the fucking Batman scenes, where, like whenever like in the first 4 '90s Batman movies, they always like when they got dressed, they just showed all these close shots.
Just my ass and fucking time. I think like it's Cisco holding right there. Yeah, it was Cisco holding on because I'm driving. So. And I just love this part with the. I like that we make people said at the where's the new Batmobile? It's like the Suburban is the Batmobile.
Yeah, we're still using the animated one too.
Yeah, Only thing, we spruced it up a bit. We have like a bat symbol, kind of like an old-fashioned, like they have the bat symbol, kind of like the bat head on the old Batmobile on the front.
Tied up with like chains.
Yeah, exactly. Which I miss that Suburban. I wish that I fucking did that before we got rid of it. But yeah,
it would have been sweet to actually really just turn into a real Batmobile.
Well, that thing was actually kind of scary to drive because it was like. At first, when you first, because I learned how to drive in that thing, and that's actually, it's like driving like a giant fucking aircraft carrier, so you're nervous on every turn or wherever you're around, like in big public, but then the second you don't really care, it's like, I am fucking indestructible, you know?
Well,
it's just like,
that's the kind of vehicle that you would just end up killing anybody else that got in your way.
Yeah.
Like, you get in the worst accident in the world, and you would survive, and everything else around you would be dead.
Yeah. But no, but
here's our flashback scene.
Our flashback. Now, this is kind of funny, because it's like, people were a little confused on this. The idea was, that's Bruce Wayne before he started to drink. So, AKA, that's me. So, if you look like Kyle, a very good-looking guy, and you start to drink, you look like me. Just keep that in mind. Right here, we kind of show Robin's innocence and just poor Alfred, just going out there.
This is this mannequin I got for free in San Francisco.
Named George, and he's wearing like the George W. You couldn't tell right there, but he's wearing a George W. Bush mask on the. I mean, if you freeze frame it when they're coming around the corner right there. And this part right here, what's kind of interesting about this is we're not even really walking in the dark. We're actually just kind of like, because you couldn't tell, it's so dark outside.
Dark.
You're just trotting. You're just trotting in the one spot. That you're actually moving, obviously, but right here, you're just like pretending to walk in one spot. And this right here, Robin just being like so overly energetic. This is. I forgot about this part. Utility belts.
Yeah, he goes to get the utility belt. I love when Kyle's fucking digging. It just looks.
He's just like Kyle.
The least amount of effort ever.
He's like one of my. I mean, he's probably one of the best actors.
I he's actually drinking real beer too while doing it.
That's Kyle character.
Effort. Just the fucking effort.
He's just like. He's just like stirring dirt. He's even wearing. I noticed it before. He's wearing Hawaiian shells for a necklace. That's how he doesn't give a shit. He's even doing the Fabio thing. He has it partially buttoned down right there. And then people say they love your right here.
Yeah, I know. I've used it a couple times. That actually came from the action figure ones originally.
Yeah, it did. But and then we get like Batman just being, yeah, I don't want to talk about this right now. It's just funny.
School.
It's funny. We say Robin's in college, yet we're doing all this shooting at like elementary schools.
We use 4 different schools in there too, actually.
And the funny thing is, when I drop you off right there, like there are some people walking out of school, and when you get out, like a couple beer cans like tumbled out. So they see like a guy dressed as Robin get out of his car with beer cans tumbling out of the school.
Oh, this part's hilarious.
So this part right here, we actually went to Kyle and said, like, Kyle, we need a picture of you for me to look back on.
I was over at Kyle's house and this picture was just sitting on his fucking coffee table. I was like, oh my god, we gotta use this in the movie.
James Calafieri, this is a really close friend of mine. I work with him.
We want to have him on the podcast at some point.
I want to have him in the podcast. We might do, it's only a might, strictly a might. We might do an animated Grit movie, and he might be doing the voice of Grit, if that's the case.
Oh, that'd be badass.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so.
He does a great job here, though.
Yeah, I love James right here. But anyway, and this was very improvised. His lines were very straightforward, and all the goddammit,
he just wanted to say goddamn it every time.
And this right here, there's
this chick's such a horrible actress.
She's a nice girl.
She's a nice girl, cool. But what's like still. I just think it's funny, just like whenever she types her name up on the internet, though, let's find this fucking video.
This whole part, you're reading Batman War Games.
Yeah, here's War Games once again.
There's Kristen.
Yeah, she does a good job.
Yeah, this was this is the one shot I wasn't there for. I think you can actually see the camera and the reflection of her glasses right there.
Well, once again, here's another shot where it's like, okay, if you just see her, then I'm shooting it, and then if not, it's on the tripod.
Yeah.
Like,
I wasn't able to shoot this day. I wasn't able to show
Once
up.
again, this is a different school.
Yeah.
The whole point was just like, I was taking the Robins like in college thing, and I guess it was coming from like the animated series.
Yeah. And the whole aspect. Because I remember originally the costumes, I want to say this real quick. The costumes were originally very like bare, like we're using like all this John Hughes music.
Yeah.
Touch you once, touch you twice. Anyway. Originally the costumes were going to be very bare bones. They're just going to represent the outfit. Then I saw you come out of your outfit. Mine was going to be more comical. I saw you come out in your costumes like, I gotta match up with that, so I ended up, right here, you can't tell. But later, as the movie goes on, I go all out with my outfit. I didn't want to just buy some cheap little Halloween one either.
No, yeah, we actually made a pretty sweet cut. Like that. Well, I thought I was like the Robin costume. I got some shit, and I'm like, I think I could put together a pretty decent costume. Mm-hmm. So I was actually pretty impressed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually really impressed with the Batman costume too. Like,
I was impressed with that. Well, it was weird because there was one time I was in San Francisco. I was in Santa Cruz, and they have this big Halloween store there, like some third party Halloween store. I just went in there, and there's a jumpsuit in there. I'm like, I don't know when. At some point, I will need this jumpsuit. It was great. There's Joe Souza. He plays like 5 characters in this. He's kind of our Walt Flanagan. In Clerks terms.
He's a reliable person.
Yeah. It's like, Joe, this guy couldn't show up, so we need you to come in.
Well, you made movies back in the day. You when you went to like Halloween stores or like costume stores, you would just buy shit because you'd be like, some point this will come in handy. When was the last time you fucking bought something for a movie?
Well, for a while, you know, when I first started making films, what's the shit you want to shoot? Kung fu movies, guys fighting with swords, ridiculous shit like that. This is kind of like the end of that because I don't think I really made anything like that after this movie was done with. So everything's been kind of ever since then. Whatever movie I made, it's been kind of just very bare bones, conversation based. Which is now
after this though, like I don't think we made a ton more live action stuff. We made a handful of videos.
You did counterpoint exploit.
Yeah, we probably made about, and then music hall. This part's hilarious.
Now, what happened right here the day we were shooting this, because it's at the community college library. If you look carefully, you can see a few cowboy hats behind him. What happened right here is, I went up to this lady, said with the camera, I'm like, "Hey, do you mind if we shoot a scene for a student film?" It wasn't a student film, and then, and then we go in right here. I'll talk on this in a second. We go in, we say like, okay, yeah, sure. Then like you come out dressed as Robin. Like, oh, by the way, it's a Batman movie.
My favorite part after that though is there was a group of international students,
like foreign exchange students.
Yeah, that came in, and it's like, oh look, there's superheroes everywhere in America. It's a bunch of kids from like South Korea go like, blew their fucking mind.
This is what American library's like right here.
There's Bill.
Bill, yeah. Like I don't work there no more. Just keep it with that.
He works at the gas station.
Yeah. And then I literally got out of the dump. People were surprised to see how. That's my commitment. People can't talk shit on how much I'm like. So you're not a real Batman fan, like motherfucker. I crawled in a dumpster for Batman.
Batman movie.
That wasn't.
See this part right here is where Robin's kind of like he's like, God damn it.
This is the turnaround. He's still kind of there, but
still kind of pissed. This shot is actually kind of because I set this up on the tripod and the car just pulls perfectly.
It's kind of accidental because he didn't pull up enough. That's our friend Pablo.
Yeah, and it just makes the scene so much more funnier because he parked perfectly. Then you see a bunch of Mexicans in the back, which is just with 3 white kids.
I'm one of them. Yeah, I think that's the back of my neck right there.
Josh
and Joe
and Joe. Yeah,
Josh Bullock plays.
Pablo does a great job. Simple.
That's not a real mustache, just in case you're wondering.
I think it's the same mustache I wore in the very beginning for like the news reporter.
Yeah. Pablo does a great job as Alfredo.
I know. We still want to bring Alfredo back in the animated series.
Yeah, he's there, but we just keep on forgetting to bring him in. This whole scene, depending on what version you're watching, you'll either want because it got taken down by the Warner Music Group, right?
Yeah, because of the Doors song. So I
Amps
switched
the Light
it to like
seems too classy for
like
Batman.
Bruce Springsteen song?
No, it was George Thorogood, I Drink Alone.
I think you can still watch 2 versions. It just depends what country you're in. Some like if you're in some countries, you can't watch like the Doors version.
Amps the Light seems too classy of a beer for Batman, I'm just going to say.
Well, Batman does, he just drinks anything that comes his way. That's like the whole point is just all this stuff. I like this montage. This really is just kind of watching some guy going really fucking downhill.
And this is kind of actually depressing in a sense. We were trying to make it
kind of sad.
Yeah. This whole scene is just, because people actually got this part. I'm not saying they were like amazed, like, oh, this is actually a little darker than I thought it would be.
I actually think this is one of the better scenes of the movie, too. That's actually one of my favorite parts.
Where he gets a pep talk from. Oh wait, no! Before we have the pep talk, this whole part where
this is where it's just like Superman's.
I'm voicing Superman. Yeah, I like how we got our Randy Moran Superman. Like, yo, what was it Randy? Not Randy Moran.
Randy Macho Man Savage.
Randy Macho Man Savage. Yeah,
that's in the animated one.
I'll tell you what's my dick. Yeah, right here. It's me doing
like,
the voice.
Bruce,
you gotta save the day, which isn't nearly as fun as Randy Macho Man Savage. I like that one more.
I love Randy Macho Man Savage.
Like he's more of just like he's more of a frat boy than anything.
But the dude's not
my dick.
Now here's Pablo again.
Pablo says so
I love
little,
how like
but
you
says
watch,
so much.
Like my gloves just get more deteriorated as the movie goes on.
That's a good point because you kept on going through. I'm like, God damn it! They kept on ripping apart.
They kept ripping. Well, and the thing too, since they're like pure like rubber gloves, like and it was 100 fucking degrees out, they were like literally not breathable whatsoever. So they just were like moist, like
stuck to your hand.
Yeah, they were so nasty. They smelled horrible.
Mm-hmm. And then there's like I remember you pour one off and just sweat would just drop out like it was just a cup of like sweat in there.
I know, it was so gross.
So apart. Batman has his turnaround.
This part, yeah, and then the Def Leppard poster talks to him.
Remember, we never come back around to that. I kind of forgot about the Def Leppard.
It's more just like he has this thing, like, just like...
We need to have him hallucinate more, because whenever he hallucinates shit, it's always kind of funny. But this is actually one of the sadder parts, I think.
It's sad and funny at the exact same time.
Well, just the line that comes up on pretty soon, like Fred Savage says, I know what to do, but I don't.
Rick Savage. Fred Savage is the actor.
Oh, Fred Savage. Oh, fuck. I'm forgetting the lines. The own movie I was in. Who was it?
Like Rick Savage
Rick
says,
Savage.
I know what to do,
but I don't. Yeah. We made him talk like some of the Beatles.
Yeah, we kind of have the kind of Beatles.
Except
it was like when I watch this again too, it's like I'm like, I feel like our voice acting work has gotten much better over time.
Yeah, definitely a reminder of that. There's you in the camera. I didn't notice that before. That's the first time I noticed you in the mirror right there, the camera.
Yeah, it's bound to happen in some of these movies.
The very first time I've ever seen that. No, but like just all of them look like they're judging you so much from the corner of the room. I was like,
just a picture.
I had to turn that. Yeah, I would have to turn that picture around because like everybody, but the guy on the far left. I don't know my Def Leppard all that well. They all felt like they just judge you, just like that dude, especially that guy right there.
Phil Collin.
I always want to go Phil Collins, but yeah,
it's
Phil
not
Collin.
plural.
He's the good one. He's the good one.
He's the good Phil Collin.
Yeah. Can you feel the love tonight? No.
The sad one.
But I don't. This part, yeah.
This part's so sad.
And then this song.
Sad and funny.
And I think because this if this is still on, because it got taken down a few times, we put it back up. I like this whole montage.
Song's off, like, the only song was the Doors song that got kind of fucked up. I know in some countries you can't watch some of the stuff, but
yeah.
Well, because I mean, at first we were like, well, like this is back in the day. It's like, well, if we're not going to sell it, then why can't we put it whatever we want on there? But then YouTube it, or not YouTube, but YouTube just cowered down to it. But
yeah.
Just fucking Warner Music Group and stuff. Just like it's like we're not making any fucking money off it. Like fucking Jim Morrison wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he wouldn't.
Jim Morrison would be proud to be in a Batman movie.
It just looks like that cat thing gonna fucking rape her right there.
I just use a handful. It's just like there's like Batman Begins, Batman like the 50s, the 60s movie.
I never really thought of that, but we just have Def Leppard cutting in the middle of this montage of Batman history. No, this is kind of like is a Batman fan. This is kind of really sad, and this kind of hit you because it's Batman at all levels right there.
Yeah, it's just gonna like go through all the good things. It shows like pictures of Alfred doing, fixing the car right there. And then it's like, it shows Robin like helping him out.
This is before Dark Knight Returns.
Teamwork.
Yeah. This is before
Alfred and Robin driving together.
This is before like Dark Knight actually came out. This shark just blows up with it has perfect timing with the music. Yeah. No, this does, even though because a lot, people.
Fucking there's policemen.
Back to Kyle, the evolution.
And then there's this good, all three of them running together.
Yeah.
It just kind of shows like back in the day when everything worked out well.
You come back, and this is like the one part of the movie that's actually supposed to be kind of serious.
Okay, serious, and supposed to be like, I gotta put my shit back together.
Still kind of, it's kind of hard to see my beard because
you're kind of blondish.
Yeah, so it's scruffy enough to look nasty, but not bright enough to actually look like a beard. So I just have like face fungus going on or something.
Yeah.
Right here, we didn't even really dig a hole. We actually just threw some dirt on top of this box, and what we're gonna open in here is
this is kind of like our even though it's kind of like shows like back to our action figure roots.
Snarf was actually in the I don't know why he has this box buried out in the woods, but he has these are the action figures we use for the Drunk Batman action figure movie, and that Snarf was there. He never said, and that was his earlier he said whatever happened to my hot Middle Eastern sex slave? He just had that Jasmine action figure in a cage.
And she died.
Yeah, because he forgot to feed her. So that's just one of those things. And right here, this next scene coming up. This is funny because coming up at Village Tunes, which I really miss Village Tunes so much.
Village Tunes is the greatest play. Oh, no, I guess...
it's coming up in a second.
He puts on the t-shirt and then he does that.
Right here, because I walked out of there, because we went in there and asked Bob real quick, the owner of Village Tunes, and then I walked...
the coolest guy in the world.
And then, that guy right there. And I walked out, and I miss that place so much. I'm getting sad looking at it.
I know, it's just, I see it, it's like, oh...
And I walked out, and then somebody with a kid was walking into the store. They turn around and walk away. I'm like, oh man, I scared business away from Bob.
Happens.
Because I come out dressed like this, oh fuck, some guy some fucking hippie in a Batman outfit. There's Joe hiding in the background.
Yeah, Joe's many times. I really just miss Village Tunes.
I do.
Sad. It's just that was one place you could go. You could go talk to Bob, buy CDs.
Yeah, it was a pure music store. You don't get those anymore.
I don't know.
It was one of the last mom and pop places, and he was just so awesome.
The music stores just don't even really exist in general.
Mm-hmm. And this
Like,
part
oh,
right here.
you actually punched Joe in the nose.
I actually fucked up and accidentally punched him in the nose. But he was right there. Yeah. He's like, whatever. It's not a big deal. So he's small, but he can take it. Shit.
It's okay. Joe's always good at that.
Yeah. And then while walking out right here, just what? I just get it. Me coming in, acting like a dick, expecting free shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm fucking bad. I like this.
He has force powers. I do believe Bob is a Jedi.
Yeah. Well, it's like I only had one shot of it, so I just had to reverse it.
Got speed up like Robert Rodriguez, like El Mariachi speed up right there.
Yeah. And
He's like, I'm taking these.
Actually, just takes a thing of coupons. Like,
He's just such a cheap bastard.
I'm fucking taking your coupons.
He's gonna buy his own movie too. Oh yeah, fuck.
Can I take that out?
Bob's just like, yeah, that's right. Fuck.
Yeah,
I can overpower Batman any day I want. Joe's actually just gonna go on, take me. I don't give a fuck. Can we go get pizza after this?
Yeah.
That's what we paid people. We paid people in pizza. If we were done shooting, like, all right, guys, pizza. Yay! That's how we got
That was
pizza.
the whole thing. It was like that was how you always had to end a shooting day by getting pizza,
Yeah.
no matter what. That's like a tradition.
Yeah.
If you don't end the day by getting pizza, I almost feel like bad luck is bound to come if you don't do that.
There's our homage to the 60s Batman.
People really like that bat slap too. That was
People-
really popular.
I'm surprised because the stuff I always find hilarious is the stuff people don't find hilarious, but the stuff like, oh, it's kind of funny. That's the stuff everyone else really likes, I noticed.
I know.
Cock knock. There's our homage to Kevin Smith.
We had a lot of those cock knock homages for a while.
Yeah.
We were really
Obsessed with the cock
cock
knock.
knock. I don't know why. It's
You
like,
boys doing the cock knock again? No, and then, but the
I
whole,
like how Joe's just wrapped up in rope.
he's like, whatever. We actually had an ADR him talking right here because it was hard to hear with the thing over his
I
mouth.
don't think we ADR'd him talking. I don't think.
I think we had it where we had to use a separate take of just him talking right here.
Maybe.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't remember that. Oh yeah, here's Rob playing Game Boy. So innocent.
Like, whatever, I don't give a shit. Play my fucking Game Boy. No, but what was I gonna say about
No, Robin's just sad and depressed, but that makes it funnier.
Alfredo? We have our Quentin Tarantino homage
Reservoir
right here.
Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs. Just Alfredo walks in. Anytime somebody walks, and you're missing right there in that shot.
Yeah, I know. Probably 'cause of
Nobody
the
can
shooting.
really tell. If I didn't say nothing, probably nobody would have noticed. Anytime a guy walks with a suit with that song playing, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Especially as a crooked mustache like that.
I know.
What's so funny about it really looks like you just slapped a mustache on like a 17-year-old kid.
Yeah.
We have
There's our second montage.
there's so many 80s like references in this. Yeah,
The
the new kids on the block.
That always makes me laugh.
Yeah.
I don't know where that folder really came from. It's one of those ones just like I had it somehow, some way.
People crack up with it because it's always just kind of like
Clint Eastwood by-
punching a woman and cheers on that. Robin like studying school. He's like, I'm gonna go to
I think that
school.
book too was like the satanic verses or something like that.
Yeah, there is a satanic Bible at that school. Believe it or
I don't know if
not.
it's a satanic Bible, but it's just something satanic.
Doing he's not completely clean just yet. He's working there.
Yeah, he's got to ease his way into it.
People crack up so hard when they see you're in the Speedo and in the
combat boots.
Yeah,
It's like I had to go with the full Robin like outfit.
better that than the better. I hear you doing the A-OK. Okay, we're done shooting. I'm thinking that's what that was. I wasn't sure. But yeah,
I don't know. Because I had to go through all these like books.
montage. Yeah. At some point you sneak out. Yeah, you pull out that book, Batman.
Batman Chronicles.
I want to say somewhere in here there's a Batman Year One. Maybe we already skimmed
Yeah,
over that.
it was already they showed it in the beginning of the montage.
Whatever happened to my? I was using that
I
flask.
think I had that
before.
flask still at my house.
Yeah, that's what happened to that fucking flask. All right, cool.
It's still at my house.
Rambo, actually, he's all like misspelling and having the words backwards. Not the bear.
I like it. It's like you can't really read it, but it's like the Jack Daniels box. It's like,
Yeah.
no! And Alfredo's just sitting there
Alfredo
smoking his pipe.
We're in a Volcom shirt. Coors Light, I miss my Coors Blue. Coors Light always just seemed... If beer had a personality, Coors Light, to me, was the asshole that judged you for your job, yet he's unemployed.
Yeah.
You're here, like, give me the Game Boy, bitch.
I know.
But no,
It's like fucking like
This was
college.
the-
It's like
this
that's like
this is the first
weed.
stuff this is the first, yeah. In that 2008, 2007, 2008, everybody had to make a Wii reference at some point.
I love this fucking Patriot.
Patriot.
One of the greatest movies of all time.
Mr.
Like
Deeds.
Mr.
if you
Deeds,
freeze
like,
it, there's-
Winona Ryder is hot.
Yeah, has notes for all of them. And then right here, all this stuff is the me working out. This is the first stuff we shot. Because aside from that, this whole movie kind of works very much in order. It really kind of went in the very order the movie rolls in, except for all the workout montage stuff with me.
You're like punching.
Yeah. Right here I shave, and right here we just take a
Shaved with, like, the most god-awful razor, too.
I was in
Remember,
your kitchen. I was in your bathroom.
And you brought, like, the rustiest razor over.
I was in the bathroom for, like, 30 minutes shaving through that beard. I had little
this
cuts in
Batman
my
suit is just so badass.
Yeah, and people were actually surprised to see, like, whoa, what? You know, because I think when people watch this movie at the very
They just
beginning,
think, like, oh, they kind of half-assed it. Like,
but then you get to this part right here. This movie really does have a progression to it because people.
we just put, like, see, we dyed that fucking, like, jumpsuit, put the Batman emblems on, bought the Batman belt buckle, like,
Made
took, like, a
emblems.
Dracula cape, bought
Yeah.
the fucking mask off eBay, combat boots, and then we bought, like, some, like, kind of, like,
I have some like skater
skateboard
pads.
Oh, yeah,
and
armor.
use that for armor because it looked a little
This
too
part's
plain.
so funny. We were looking over the canyon, and then there's like this is like a lookout point.
An old couple shows
It's
up.
the Dardanelle lookout, and an old couple shows up, and we're just fucking standing there.
We turn around like, time to go, honey.
I was like, what the fuck? I mean, like,
The 40-minute drive up here was worth it. Time to leave. You know?
I always thought this joke was great. Like the fucking
People always get a kick out of
what
this.
the hell are those things called?
Viewfinders?
Yeah, viewfinders.
Yeah.
That is something that like kids don't even probably remember. Like that's such like you could not give that to a kid nowadays.
It was on the tail end of our generation. Even for me, I had
Well,
one
it
of those as a
was
kid.
it was still like I think it was a '70s toy more than anything else, but we still had them in our
Like
generation.
your grandparents had them, you know, and you'd fiddle with it. But I remember my grandparents had them. Like, this is cool, but I mean, it's the same. Couple pictures, whatever, you know.
It was like the dinosaur one was the coolest.
And I was actually naming off what I really did see right there. I like how we're using a song from the Encino Man soundtrack right here, and this is like the one part where where Batman's like, "What the fuck's going on?" We right here we get across that Robin likes '90s rap and hip hop and like a little bit of punk.
Yeah, that's kind of how we wanted to find Robin.
Yeah,
Boy, what the fuck
you doing? That part's not even needed, but it's just so
It
great.
really is.
This is so racist right here. We just got like, okay, it's a couple. We just yelled that you're one of them, but like, because you're one of the thugs right there.
Yeah,
you're the one
with the
that
blonde hair.
blonde hair. There's Joe again, and just like the
Joe always
whitest
has a
kids,
mask on too.
the whitest kids possible.
Fucking, and then Josh
We're just like, all right, just act like gangsters. So they're just like, whoa, yo, just
dancing in the corner. This is kind of cool. Is this like an old abandoned movie theater?
Yeah, that's what.
You
This
can't
is a
actually
very,
go in there anymore either.
It's boarded up.
Yeah, they boarded it up.
Now, right here, my only complaint about the movie
It's
is,
fucking 100 degrees out.
well, that. But I mean, because it's 100 degrees out. Because originally somebody else was gonna be there.
Oh,
And what happened is somebody couldn't show up. And I'm like, well, shit, it's going to be like 3 people fighting. And then what ends up happening is the guy who's going to come up in a second, Brian McGregor, who plays the Depancer.
We were able to get him.
I went to go drive him. He says, well, he said he can do it, but he lives over here. And we had trouble finding his house. So me and Joe went to go pick him up, that dude right there. And then we came back. And by that time, there was no point in shooting early because it was just already like.
Well, yeah, we were going to shoot
100
like 7 in the morning. We didn't end up shooting until like 10.
It was like 107 degrees out right here. Yeah.
So fucking hot out.
Which I don't. You guys shot that. Well, actually, no, you couldn't have shot that then. It was like when me and Josh were planning this out because we were planning out our fight scene. You and Joe were planning out what we were going to do for this scene over here.
Yeah, I think Joe shot a lot of this stuff.
He shot it. If you're, I mean,
I think I shot like all that.
he shot. I want to say the only thing he shot is when we both ran in at the same time. But my only real complaint is that we made up some. He just got cock knocked. Yeah. I think my only real complaint about this.
And then Batman hits the joint with the cigar.
I gotta say that. I gotta come back to that in a second. There's so much going on. I'm already forgetting it all. I wish we used someone like
a real
Deadshot, like Deadshot or Black Mask.
Yeah.
Maybe just some miscellaneous character.
I think Deadshot would have been easy because you could have just done it with like.
They hired Deadshot or something like that. That way, it's not like miscellaneous thug number 2. And right there, there's a bunch of naked porn mags down there. But
And that
you
Batman
can't
fight
tell.
too came from like those old black and white serials where they really just kind of like shook each other.
That's all they were. They're shooking each other, and then eventually the guy who played Batman just punched somebody.
Yeah,
High
because that's how
School-
the fights were in those old ones.
I wish I didn't say this High School Musical line. That really dates it. But anyway,
Yeah, that's like the one thing that kind of dates it. People thought that was funny at the time, though.
yeah, they did. Yeah, that was. We always complain about pop culture references. There's our one pop culture reference. But
That always looked fucking uncomfortable. Fucking sharp ass plants.
no. But anyway, the whole thing with Batman Tatum and Joint. I have a friend that's super conservative, and he was cool with the whole movie. He's like, I didn't
It's
really.
fine with Batman drinking and being like a fuck up.
But I didn't want. I was really uncool with Batman hitting a joint at the very end. I'm like, okay, if you don't smoke weed, which I don't smoke weed, fine.
It's
but
illegal. That's like the one thing.
But really, of all things, that's probably the least like effective thing in this movie. So it's all right, whatever. And then another thing I want to say about that whole scene, that whole fight was the Mr. Big Hand thing. We should explain the Mr. Big.
Oh yeah, well Josh and Mr. Big Hand, it comes from Dead or Alive, from the Leon character, because he has this attack where he just like slaps the fuck out of the characters and they fly across him. It was like Mr. Big Hand.
Yeah, that's where Mr. Big Hand comes from. like we're playing
I
Offspring.
remember our friend RJ, like, he like lost his voice or whatever. He's over at the house, so his voice was all high. He's like, Mr. Big Hand, Josh, Mr. Big Hand. It just sounded like the case. I remember that. We're playing fucking Dead or Alive all night long. Dead or Alive 2. Here's Batman reading the Dark Knight Returns.
Right here, you see Robin coming around a little bit, becoming more of like how he is in the animated series.
Yeah.
Dick being a dick. And then
he's got this warrant poster. He's like, I don't think these are actually girls. I think they're dudes. Yeah. But he still has it there anyway.
Like, whatever, I don't care. You know,
Whatever.
I got my haircut. And but the other thing regarding that whole scene, what was I gonna say about that? Fuck it, it'll come back to me later. Another podcast probably. But
I don't know, that scene you could sit there and like pause and rewind and talk about it more. But
yeah.
I remember we had to go fucking jump in the river because it was so fucking hot.
That was when we were done, yeah. I was just this big fucking flabby mass of hair, just like, oh my god! You know, there's like a family just pulled over. It's always a family pulling over. Come on, kids, let's go to the river. All right, here this guy, this Batman outfit comes. Oh my god, out of the way!
Just water.
Right here, actually, yeah, I got a haircut, and I was actually
That's one of my favorite lines is right here, though. It comes up.
Yeah, goddamn right, I got a point.
Yeah, goddamn right, I got a point.
Then right here, like this whole part was
takes the man. Like
I kind of regret doing that because
you really just want. You're like, I gotta show my face at some point. I gotta show my face. Like you felt
we
like
weren't making.
There's a picture again.
Well, it wasn't so much like my face needs to be in the movie. It was like, well, we're not going to make another one. We just got to show Batman's getting his shit together, and without the mask and without the beard, it looked a lot. Looks better. And we weren't planning on making a sequel. We had I know everybody says that. We legitimately weren't planning to make a sequel or anything like that.
10 fucking other videos.
Yeah, about it.
And going.
It's like, well, Batman gets sober at the end, so what can we do about it? I don't like when I go, no, I'm not even have a sandwich. Eating. Just the way I eat it, just this mouthful I take right here, I think, in a second. Maybe it's this next shot, I don't know. There's Nate Bumgarner as the Riddler.
He did a really good job.
Yeah.
I like that costume we made, too.
It was really thrown together. You could tell, obviously.
It was thrown together, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I imagine that's very much a modernization of Riddler, I think.
I know, just pure black with a little bit of green.
Mm-hmm. And this whole scene, it was kind of funny. This whole scene, because I'm about to do the Superman thing, ripping the shirt open, and I was walking on the corner, because we shoot me, like, doing, like, Metal Gear Solid, like, hiding around the corner, peeking at it. You'll see it in a second. And they said, like, are you guys shooting a Superman movie? I just have this Batman emblem on my chest. It's like, no, there's you are again. Bill, yeah. And then, coming around over here. Yeah, this out right. Are you guys doing a Superman movie? That's Batman. And then we have this. And me, bitch!
And then, bam. We almost didn't get Nate for this scene, too. He was being so busy at the moment that, like...
He had a lot going on.
And then, like, he finally came around, and... Which I'm glad, because I really feel without him, it's like, I don't know who else would have...
You play like 10 people in this. The boy in the restaurant.
The boy in the restaurant.
Kyle Fan, yeah. And James gave me shit because he misspelled his name. He's like, go after Spence. Sorry, I threw you on the bus on that one.
That's okay, you're the one that gave me the spelling of it.
Did I?
Uh-huh.
I did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad. Anyway, so right here, coming in on this. This kind of started our whole drunk Batman thing. And well, no, it wasn't started, but I guess
but this is what made drunk Batman go from like being just like this simple action figure thing that we're kind of like, oh, okay, to...
And a lot of people, I mean, I'm not trying to suck our own dicks here, but I think that this thing came out pretty good, and a lot of people liked it.
I think it came out pretty good. I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, like, I watch it nowadays, and I can see all like the flaws, but I think that's how
we put our parents as executive producers because
the motorhome, the fucking Rock.
Yeah, your parents' motorhome, and then filming at the Rock, which is my family business. Yeah, so 2008. Shit, it was that long ago.
And this is the time too when we used to like
have dreams.
Well, yeah. Well, when you like now, it's like when we made movies back then, you made them like you were making a real fucking movie. Nowadays, I really feel like I make them like I know I'm making just a tiny short.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I don't think of it like a movie anymore. Like by back then, something about making movies, you want to make them feel really epic. Mm-hmm. And now it's just kind of like, no, I just make it like.
Something I want to go back on, because the movie just ended, but something I want to go back on that I remember what I was going to say. The whole scene where they're fighting the wannabe gangster guys, they were all fucking white. Originally, Kristen, the girl, what was her character's name again?
Like Ashley or something.
Ashley, yeah. Originally, her character got kidnapped by them somehow, and we were going to save her, but it wasn't really all that important to the story. And the day you shot her, that was like the one day before she went to Paris or something like that.
No, I don't think she went to Paris. I think she just went to school.
I thought she was going somewhere in Europe on a vacation in school.
I don't think so.
Maybe not?
I don't think she's just gone back to school. She was just up for like a couple days or something.
Oh, okay.
Well, there's a lot of those things like that. That's like because there's supposed to be like way more people in that movie than As always, it's like, there's like a cast of like 10 people in the movie. There's supposed to be a cast of like 20.
But when you narrow it down to it, we really just kind of just when you simplify it to just being two people that you kind of are going to be there, you and me, it actually became a lot easier.
It's much easier. That's the only downfall of making live action movies. It's funny, you'll read books on how to make movies, and they'll be like, "Oh, people will be grateful to be in your movies. They'll love to show up.
For a day.
They'll work for a hot dog." It's like, no.
They will for a day.
No, they won't They won't even come by for a day.
Well, even the people that do come by for a day, it's like, oh,
you'll be lucky if they come by for a half an hour. That's really how it is. You'll be lucky if they show up for a half an hour.
Generally, I mean,
people. I don't know what it is, but people last times are kind of dicks about it. And
there's this one person. I'm not going to say what the video was, but I remember I'm not going to say the person's name either. But there's this one time we were filming this one movie, and there's this girl who was going to be in it, or she was in it. And she comes by, like, all right, we only got a couple of days left to shoot. Let's just get this done with. And this girl kept on postponing. And she comes in, and she's all like, oh, we could shoot today, but I only got, like, 20 minutes to do it. And she does this look. Like, first off, she knew she had to be there. She does this look, gives us the most adorable look, where she just got done putting on her lipstick and bites her lip. She's sitting down looking up at us, just giving this most adorable look. It's like, oh, you fucking cunts,
No,
it's like, it's bad enough being like, oh, it was a thing. It wasn't so much the fact that she couldn't do it. It's just like, I gotta make it look very adorable so they won't get angry at me. It's like, oh, you fucking bitch.
It's just those ones, like, that's the only thing,
she's cool, though. She's actually a
live
cool
action
person.
movies, just like, it feels like if you don't pay people, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's just kind of, that's like the world we live in. If they're not getting money, they don't give a flying fuck about you.
And at one point, we just took a dark turn. Like, this is filmmaking, kids.
Don't do filmmaking, kids. Do animation, because you just do everything yourself and fuck everybody else.
If you ever go into, like, I remember back when we were like in like taking film class in high school or multimedia. It was really just film class.
Yeah, it was called because really that class was supposed to be about, like, you make videos, you make a website, you do graphic design, you do like Photoshop. It was supposed to be like everything in one, but it was really just like, no, let's just make stupid videos.
And our teacher,
let's get on top of like storage unit crates and fight each other with giant like metal poles
and slam into each other
until somebody to jump off that crate. Remember when Max jumped off the crate? It was a 1-story jump, and he was supposed to fall behind me, and he jumps off, and somehow, some way, he just lands on his back.
Yeah, I remember that. No, that like Max, that is staying in the movie. I don't care. And then we didn't even
because I didn't get to see it till I saw it on video because I was standing like he's supposed to fall behind me. Just turn around like, what the fuck?
Like fucking Martin Sheen in Departed. No, but there's that, and then like because they would also just do things like all the videos. Like it was kind of funny because like we were like 2 people in that class who were taking the shit seriously. But in all honesty, when someone else, because everybody just kind of like they would just play music of them. They would play like some like screamo band because that was popular at the time. They play some screamo band and just have them running down the halls in fast motion, back and forth, just stupid shit like that. But you and me and like a few other people were the only ones actually.
It was like you, me, and Nate were the 3 people I always thought that took it. Like we were the ones that took it really serious. And then everybody else just kind of took it like it was like a joke class.
Nate, the guy that played Riddler, because he was in the class too. And then everybody else just took it as just kind of a joke. And after a while, the teacher's like, do what you want. I don't fucking care. This is my last year here. And we had like one more year after that. And then we're like, this is serious. You kind of, when you think back on it, like, we had videos of kids on, like you said, on top of, like, giant storage units, slapping huge metal poles together, jumping off these storage units. So I kind of understand why they wanted to shut down the multimedia program.
Well, it's like all, like, the administrators of the school could not figure out what the hell was going on in this class. It's just like, there is kids running around with weapons and cameras. What are you teaching these kids?
I remember there was one I was trying to do that it was supposed to be like supposed to be kind of like a Chinese Connection parody, and I brought in a pair of plastic nunchucks, and like there's this one security guard that rode around like in a golf cart.
Oh, I hate that fucking bitch.
No, not the chick, the guy.
Oh, the guy was okay, but
the guy was all right.
Was like, she broke her foot, so she was riding around this golf cart. Then the foot healed, and she kept driving the golf cart.
She kind of gave up on walking.
Yeah, and life at the same time.
Yeah. So pretty much, this guy would This at one point we were just filming that scene. He's like, "Yeah, I got to take those nunchucks from you. You can't bring weapons to school." I'm like, "They're plastic. They're hollow." He's like, "It's the same as pulling out a fake gun." It's like, really? Can you shoot someone with a pair of nunchucks?
Yeah.
And you can like, give me the fucking plane. I got nunchucks. What?
They're plastic and hollow.
Yeah. But something I want to talk about this movie real quick.
Did you ever get those nunchucks back?
No, I didn't.
fucking.
Actually, no, I did. We
Okay.
actually used them in another movie and they broke.
Oh, it happens.
Yeah. No, but actually, maybe I lost them. I had like 4 pairs. So
Yeah.
that's what happens. Like we said, you go when Halloween happened and you're in high school filming movies, you would just buy a bunch of shit from Halloween stores. You
All
don't
these
know.
props and blood and.
Yeah.
I still got like 4 bottles of fake blood and.
That we bought for like one video and we only used the one bottle or half of a bottle of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just us ones.
It's for Counterpoint Exploit, the part when I'm getting shot up against the wall. You guys just douse blood on me.
Yeah, well, I bought it for like other stuff too. It's
Yeah.
just like.
I'm saying that one bottle, that one
Yeah.
half of a bottle, it was just all that.
And Orion was just pouring it like everywhere in that fucking parking lot. So you just know that somebody had to come to work next day and be like, "What the fuck just happened here last night?"
That video's
there was
on-
blood all over the wall, all over the floor.
Because what happened is, I'm getting shot up against the wall. I'm bad at that. This is a testament. I'm a bad actor in that movie. And I'm just like, it's supposed to be like I'm getting shot up. They have gunshot sound effects, and I'm slapping against the wall, and you guys are just throwing blood on me. So it actually looks pretty real. It actually came out being pretty good. Like you said though, somebody had to come in like, what the fuck happened? They said like,
You
this
just know
bloody.
somebody came to work the next day and parked in their same parking spot and just saw that blood stain on the wall.
I think it was a reserved parking spot too.
Well, they're all reserved, I think, and they're just about.
And then, but anyway, I want to jump back on Drunk Batman for a second. At one point in time, we were talking about doing a sequel to that movie, just a direct sequel, and it was most of the point we were like we're gonna make it epic. We're gonna do all this shit. We're gonna like I remember we had a script going and we filmed about 5 minutes of it, but it was we kind of
We
just
filmed about 10 minutes, actually. We filmed quite a bit of it.
10 minutes of it, yeah. But we only just the simple stuff that was just between you and me.
It was just talking. It was almost too simple because sometimes the only problem is you kind of realize we gotta make it as simple as possible because everything else when it gets complicated it gets too hard. But then sometimes we get too simple. Then it's like at some point we're gonna release it up there just to put it up there for
Just have another video.
literally just to have another video because there is funny shit in it.
There is some funny shit, but overall, the whole script, because we had this big epic, and it was going to be like some of the stuff some of it from the animated series carries on through it. The whole thing with Batman and Robin breaking up. That sounds gay, but you know what we mean.
Yeah.
The whole thing with Batman and Robin leaving. The Justice League party, which is coming up in the next episode of Drunk Batman.
Well, yeah, we were gonna get all these people to come in and play like all the other superheroes, and then we're like, nobody's gonna fucking show up to do this. Nobody's gonna put on a fucking Green Lantern.
They'll catch on to it. They'll say, "Hey, want to be in this movie?" Yeah, sure. And then, like, by the way, you got to dress up like Green Lantern. No, they would have got onto it by then because other people we tricked. Hey, want to be in this movie? By the way, it's a Batman movie. We'd always do that. We never tell somebody we were filming a Batman movie. We just show up in costumes. Like you already said yes, So, but anyway.
At some point we'll release all this like lost footage of good like 10 minutes. Let's call it. I was just gonna
Batman out of the vault.
Yeah, like the lost drunk Batman footage.
Yeah, and then at some point, like it was because like Frank Miller was but we were planning way too far ahead. So it was like that one worked out fairly good. So we were just playing we thought it'd be way too easy. And like Frank Miller was gonna be the bad guy because at the time he just released
All-Star Batman. And
All-Star Batman and Robin, where he's like he's copying the way I act. He's making me look bad, Which if you read All-Star Batman and Robin, he does seem kind of like
feels like the closest likeness to like
drunk Batman.
as
Yeah,
far as-
just kind of like only more intelligent.
Yeah.
So, and in better shape, just by a little. And but he still had the scruff and was still laughing and all that.
Yeah, the Batman.
And hated everybody. But then we also had Superman was gonna come into it. There's gonna be a fight between Joker and Robin. At some point, like Catwoman was gonna come in there.
Well, we're gonna make this one was supposed to be even like it was supposed to be still funny, but it's supposed to go into like the realm of like almost being like action oriented, like
Yeah, it was gonna be like this. It was gonna have this big final epic. At some point, Robin got kidnapped by Joker, and Robin actually fights Joker, and Joker fights him with a crowbar, and Robin ends up winning. But then during this whole time, Batman was gonna be like fighting down, like we were gonna try and make it as cool and stylistic as possible. Batman was running down this hallway, just fighting all these thugs at the same time, kind of like wearing armor that was similar.
gonna have like this putty gun thing that like I had to this day I still have no idea
I
how
thought
we
we
were
were
gonna
gonna do.
it.
I had an airsoft shotgun, and I figured because Batman uses this kind of stuff every so often. It was gonna be kind of like giving shout outs to Dark Knight Returns, sort of, because we were gonna buy a bunch of just kind of like plastic armor, spray paint it, like shine it, make it actually look kind of like armor. It was gonna somewhat resemble the armor from Dark Knight Returns. And then he had this putty gun, and what would happen is we would just like probably make the motion of firing a gun, and then we show some guy with corn syrup or a wad on his chest. He's just like blow my bat load all over your chest. Ugh. And like he's like pulling his hands like this sticky like Play-Doh
like spider web looking shit
over his, and then like he just like hit the guy in the face with the butt of the gun. So we were planning all this shit.
Have like Rage Against the Machine or Beastie Boys playing.
It was gonna be Beastie Boys. It was gonna be Sabotage. That was the plan. And then we just kind of stopped. Like we're kind of, I mean, not saying that like it's drunk Batman. It's saying something. Not saying that, but it was really kind of like.
We're getting too like way out of left field on this.
We were getting the syndrome, like the sequelitis, really.
Yeah, and the thing too is we realized, you know what Drunk Batman is?
It's comedy.
A sitcom. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a sitcom more than it is anything else.
So we scrapped that script and we kept. I mean, we were still gonna be comedy.
And then we made like a simpler script where it was just a bunch of Batman and Robin talking and Batman jumping on a trampoline for some reason that he bought.
No, because what happened is like there's a part where Batman said like. Batman like started doing commercials because he was getting back in top, and he says like, "Oh, don't worry, Robin. It's not like we're whoring out or nothing." He gets out of the car, he sees wearing a bunch of Nike clothes with like a McDonald's bag, and then at some point he uses the proceeds to buy a trampoline for himself.
Yeah, but
no, the new bat signal was a fax machine, so they would just fax him the bat symbol. He says like, we could have used the money for a real bat symbol. No, we need the trampoline. And then it cuts the Batman jumping on the trampoline, which that was funny, but that actually gave me a migraine because I was jumping on this trampoline in the bat suit. In 100 degrees. It was only like for like 4 minutes, and I went to go later that day. I went to go see Public Enemies, the Johnny Depp Christian Bale one. And I had a migraine because that movie had just such shaky motion. The camera just
whenever it's Johnny Depp. Oh.
Yeah, but anyway, so I guess that sums it up for this podcast.
But yeah, all Batman. All the time. Make sure to go check out all the Drunk Batman stuff on Newgrounds or YouTube, or just go straight up to oldmanorange.com. Till then, I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunigan.
And we'll see you sometime
later. Next bat time, same bat channel.
That you're just copying Kevin Smith now.
That's what they said at the end of every. That's what they say at the end of every old TV like Adam West show.
Is that what they said?
They said same bat time. He says same fat time.
Channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Goodbye.